All right, welcome back. Looking at a different camera view here, you can see my Trench Crusade table. Very well reinforced, nice and solid. Just piecing the foam on it. I mean, I probably should have bought just a big sheet of foam and stuck on it. It'd been easier. But I never do anything the easy way around here. And of course, I set out with every intention of making this thing modular. That didn't really happen. I mean, I got a lot of modular little terrain pieces, scatter terrain to put around it and stuff like that. I've got some STLs of just some corpses. So I haven't painted them yet because I just glued them on. But a lot of my barbed wire sections, if you look close, you can see there's, bodies in there, everything like that. And then what else do I want to show you? Well, first off, because I'm not going to be like anyone else, I printed up some yeomen from New Antioch, but I gave them German style helmets and gas masks. Why? I don't know. Just seemed like the thing to do. Since I gave most of the bad guys in my army British style trench helmets, I'm giving the good guys in my army German style helmets. Why? Because it makes sense to me, since the Holy Roman Empire, aka Germany, is the good guys. And I've talked about that. Is it a big deal? No, of course not. You can play whatever you want. But, I can be just a little bit kind of crazy about things, I would call it. Yeah. Like I am one of those weirdos that has like severe pattern recognition to the point of it almost being a disability. So, not that I'm self-diagnosing. I'm not a tumbler, right? But it's like let's see if I can get in touch with my brother, see what he's doing. There we go. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, so I did have to add a layer of just standard corrugated paper because these are not actually an inch thick, but the trench down there, you can just make it out. It's designed to be set an inch down. So I had to find a way to raise things up. Otherwise, there'd have been more of a gap there. Yeah. Now, when this is done, I'll go ahead and use my hot glue gun and some other tricks to fill in all the gaps. And then I've got the latex and the grout and everything ready to go. But I think before I paint it, I'm going to wait until the sideboards show up. There's some sideboards that are going to go all the way around it, and they're 4 inches. So in that way, hopefully it'll keep miniatures from falling off the table, because I've been using water rinsable resin because it was on sale for $20 a quart, which is an amazing price. But the problem with this particular resin is it is brittle. Oh my God. Like you sneeze on it wrong and it wants to shatter. And if you want water rinsable tough resin, the kind that's semi-flexible and won't break if you look at it wrong, well, that stuff's $40 a quart. Now, I could buy the cheap stuff and then 1 or 2 quarts of the good stuff and just mix it. And then, land somewhere in between. But we'll see. We'll see. Kind of cook up my own whatever. My wife just walked in. Put it over there. I'm not hungry. I see what it is, and I'm very happy. But
you love popcorn chicken? They had it both out.
Of course I love chicken. I eat more chicken than any man ever seen.
I also got us some regular chicken.
Some of you will get that reference.
And the Gap Country, both.
Now, my brother, wherever he is, if I have to call him, I will. Let's look at chat in case he. Hey, Nerdy Ogre, what is up, homie? Yeah, I'd like to talk to my brother, but that guy's a nerd anyway, so whatever. Stu, what's a Stu? No, we don't need to put the chat on. Popcorn chicken. I sent you a link, homie. What the hell?
What?
I'm talking to Haas. He's asking what wifey got me, and I said she brought me a little thing of popcorn chicken from Publix. I'm recording, so unless you want to be on film.
Kind. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. So apparently Trump jumped Zelensky's ass, called him a scumbag, told him if he will, there will be peace. Nukes were threatened, and pretty much it's going to end the way I said it is. Russia's going to get to keep Crimea and pretty much everything east of the Don River, which is what I've been saying for a year. But, people don't listen to me because I'm a hillbilly and I got accent. And apparently even my nephew seems to think anyone from the South who's got an accent is just not an educated person, since he had to post a map that had the Gulf there, and it said the Gulf of the least educated states in America. And it's like, dude, you grew up in Detroit. I mean, the F are you talking about, right? If you grew up in Detroit, Michigan, you should not be bragging about anything. But one thing I'll say about his dad, who I hung out with quite a bit when we were kids, is he always was kind of an arrogant prick and a closet communist. Even though he didn't call himself a communist, he was one of those guys that was so pro-union that it was like, you're just a communist, man. The whole time, as soon as he got old enough to think about getting a real job, he fled from the free state of Florida because he couldn't imagine working in a state that had right to work. So, so I'm I got to admit, a little bit hurt at the nephew for being such a scumbag. But then again, I don't know. He may not like me that much either. When they visited, his girlfriend, who is Lithuanian, was trying to tell me how beautiful Big Mike was. And I was like, no. And she's like, what do you mean no? And I was like, Michelle Obama is not attractive. And I refuse to sit here and let somebody say she is. I mean, I have eyeballs. So I should have known right then that he was with a liberal girl. And then he's like, yeah, my family, we get along with German people pretty well, but we generally don't get along pretty well with Russian people. And I was like, well, that makes sense since, the Lithuanians had an SS unit and you guys fought for the Germans. So, and she looked at me like I was crazy, but no, to this day in freaking Lithuania, they still celebrate the Lithuanian Legion. Like they got statues of those guys up and stuff, which I'm okay with, That's your ancestors. You want to be like that, be like that. But Man. Anyway, I'm ranting. But yeah, the war's going to end exactly the way I said it was. How you doing, Jose?
I'm fine, and you? How are you?
Ah,
I see that you brought your workshop table to the film now.
well, I was just wanting to show off. I'm putting the pink foam on the Trench Crusade table, which is 4 foot by 4 foot MDF board reinforced with 1 inch by 1 inch dowel. And then when it's done, I'm going to make a mix that I learned from Black Magic Craft using this brown latex, a little bit of dark paint, sand, grout, and a little bit of alcohol to thin it all down, and then just paint it. And it'll put a nice muddy, look over the whole thing. Plus, my brother, I don't know when I'll see him next. Hopefully, I'll see him before he dies or something. I painted up another figure to go in his warband if he wants it. And it is this guy right here, which is a Heretic Legion war beast or werewolf, right? And the reason its mouth is shaped that way is it's got like a rotating teeth on the inside. So it runs across the battlefield, scooping up barbed wire in the catch and just snaps all the barbed wire so that people can run in behind it. Because like the rules say, demons cannot enter the mortal realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Physically, they can't. But the children of demon can.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can get their mortal followers to catch jackals, goats, whatever, and throw them through the gates of the inferno to the demons on the other side, well, those demons do horrible things we shouldn't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up with this monster because, it's got demonic blood in it. And, so that's how they get around the rule. You know what I mean? That they can actually enter is they create half-breeds. Like
it has a feeling like, I don't know, like some sort of spawn of alien or something from a movie.
Well, there is a part of the lore they're talking about now. There's a part of the Inferno, which even a lot of the major demons or devils or whatever don't like to go around. And it's because it's the creator of the lore said it's basically based on H.P. Lovecraft.
Oops, lost the video, sorry.
Yeah. So it's basically like the great old ones like Cthulhu and all that kind of stuff. Sorta, kinda, exist in hell, but at the deepest level. And they're not 100% buddies with the princes of hell or Lucifer. And they're definitely not buddies with, the good guys. And they're kind of completely alien in nature, So that's going to be another war band that they're going to end up releasing at some point. So if you don't want to play a straight up war band devoted to, a demon lord of hell, you can join the, what they call it, the cult of transformation or some shit. And it's like Azathoth and Hastur and, all of the guys from H.P. Lovecraft. Which is still just as creepy, It's like,
yeah.
It's like that's no better.
Yeah, but that's escapism, so it is valid.
Yeah, that's not enough. That's not like something where you're all like, oh, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
No. But
yeah, it makes when it is like fantasy, it is cool. In a way, it is fantasy. It is a very religious fantasy, but it is fantasy, so it looks
right.
cool.
Right. Well, like you said about people, I took that to heart,
Uh-huh.
even though I do hang out with some people who 100% still want to play that game.
Hmm.
But, unfortunately, I, being a democratically minded person, tend to let the group decide what game we're going to play most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I figured
There's
I'd use my computer.
Brother.
Figured I'd use my computer and let you fools see me today.
Oh, you got your computer?
Oh, I've had it. I just haven't been using it.
I know. I was looking at your channel the other day because I was going through my subscriptions and I rewatched Jose's Battletech video.
Nice.
And then I looked at your channel and you haven't been online in like 3 months.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a stream today, and I took a nap instead.
Yeah, the last time you were online, you were hanging out with Shadow.
Yeah.
So it was like, what's going on here,
Bear, I was talking to Bear this morning. He did a show.
Bear does an early in the morning show sometimes, depends.
Yeah, I was in his chat, and he was telling me how much he missed my channel.
Yeah, I fell asleep. I told him if he started a show to send me a link, I'd join him. And then I went in the room and knocked out. Just freaking.
Yeah, getting ready to eat something. I've realized I haven't eaten today.
It ain't even 5:00 yet.
Yeah, but I haven't eaten today.
You don't need to eat every day.
Oh, my doctor says I have to.
It'd probably be good for you to skip a few.
Ah,
I should send you my Orthodox dietary guide.
you just don't like me today. You just want me to die.
Well, no, it's just that some days you're vegan and some days you're a vegetarian, and then some days you can eat meat. And
So you just want me to die. Yeah, let's have him eat the things that he can't digest.
Like what? Okay.
Vegetables.
Okay, on vegetarian day, you can, because this is what my sister-in-law does a lot, is she eats, you can eat cereal with like oat milk and basically nuts. Well, you can't really do nuts, can you?
Nope.
Yeah, if I remember, the only kind of nuts you can do is these nuts. How'd
This
you
is
like
for
that?
him, not you, Jose. Good setup though, bro. Good setup.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I'm glad to see you, but yeah, I was laying in the bed last night watching your video again and thinking about things, and then woke up at like 4 a.m. Like, what's going on? And then I got up today about 8, hung out with the wife a little bit, but she's working, so not too much. And then came in here and immediately started, screwing, measuring. That's what people always like. Well, actually, no one has ever asked me why I do it, but I keep like 2 or 3 of these on my desk at all times. Because you never know when you're going to need a square. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Nerdy Ogre, about what you're saying. I'm not ignoring you. Yeah, it's like, it's just like this thing that some people from the North seem to think everyone in the South is an idiot, despite the fact that most of the smartest people on our, nation are from the South. And almost all of the founding fathers were Southerners. Almost every damn one. I mean, Virginia is the South, guys. I know it doesn't feel like it anymore since everyone in D.C. moved there. But Virginia is still the South. And so that's Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, freaking, a lot of those guys. But you got some guy that grew up in a shitty neighborhood in Detroit, and he's going to talk shit. It's like, the hell's wrong with you, man? Pisses me off. But apparently he's like strongly got the TDS, which I would blame his wife, because that's usually how it happens in America anyway, Jose. It's like a normal guy marries a chick that's like super far left,
Mm.
and then he changes his political views to match her,
Wow.
not the other way around.
Wow.
And then that's how I end up with like one of my closest friends, who I actually lived with for a while. We lived together as roommates. He married this super far left, purple haired freak, and immediately went from being a normal guy to,
Yeah.
Trump is the most evil man in history. And this guy is so captured. Like, I'll show him things, like videos and stuff, and he'll be like, that could be fake. He's the kind of idiot that when they tried to kill Trump was like, I think Trump set it up. It's like, are you insane? He set it up for a guy to shoot him in the ear. I mean, if that guy had been off 3 centimeters, it'd have hit him right in the side of the head.
Yeah, it is.
Man.
Yeah, so it is the dumbest idea in the world, right?
Oh, my daughter even said that to me, and I was just like, what? It's like, no. Like,
Yeah, definitely politics in USA is completely another planet compared to what I'm used to, because, well, I'm not in the USA, so it looks like another planet completely.
well, I think a lot of it's just that we
In a way, those are worlds apart.
we
no?
tend to be very passionate about it.
I'm seriously thinking about saying the hell with the Philippines and going down to South America so I can get me a hot Latina chick to call me Papazito. Because everybody needs a big booty Latina chick to call him Papazito.
Well, I mean, yeah. I don't know what Mangianelli did, but him and what's her name split up. So he's not as cool as he used to be anymore. Even though, to be fair, she was like 20 years older than him.
Yeah, he's trading her in for a younger model.
I don't know if who did what. But if my brain doctor says, all right, we're going to do this in there, saw the top of your head. Root.
If you come around Latin America, you will be welcome.
I'm welcome
Find
everywhere.
that blood clot.
Sorry, say again?
James was reading about a blood clot, and I said, I'm welcome everywhere because I'm just so damn cool and cute. I get along with everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I get what he's saying.
Oh, yeah. They told me I was
going
going to.
around in somebody's head. It's like, hold on now. Hold on
It's
now.
like
Before
what
we
they
start
did to,
randomly rooting around in people's heads.
it's like they did to our grandfather recently.
What's that?
Well, he was on hospice. So if you're on hospice, you're actively dying. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But they said, oh, you're on hospice, but we need to put 3 stents into your heart.
Yeah, which is like the weirdest, like, maybe we should call Doge.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, if I'm on hospice and they're like, we need to do 3 stents in your heart, I'm going to be like, no, you don't. You really don't. I'm actively dying here.
It's weird because at a point they have a obligation to intercede. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And keep you alive. But then at the same time, I mean, like you said, you're actively dying. It's like, leave me alone and just let me die, you know?
Yeah, because
But
as somebody who's had a stent, that stuff is not comfortable.
yeah, I wouldn't think it would be, but
And if I'm at the end of my life, I don't want the end of my life to be uncomfortable. I want the end of my life to be full of hookers and Coca-Cola.
right.
I can understand that.
Exactly. You know, the end of my life, I'm going to start smoking cigarettes again. I'm going to start drinking again. I'm going to do other things that I shouldn't be doing. I'm just going to do all the stuff that they say don't do because you die from doing it. I'm going to be like, woohoo!
Calm down,
And then I'm going to pray really hard.
little buckaroo.
You're
I
afraid
am-
I'm going to start drinking soon.
I'm gonna start drinking soon.
That I'm going to start drinking soon.
Oh, I was gonna say I'm not drinking.
I mean, I've got a bottle of really good bourbon that I've had a sip out of.
I'm too attached to my extremities.
Yeah, I'm attached to my liver.
Yeah, the liver I don't care about because all you gotta do is take a break. That'll regenerate. But you know, the last thing I need is to like drive my blood sugar up and then, you know, get a toe cut off or something, like some kind of moron that doesn't comply with their diet.
That's not the reason my toe got cut off, idiot face.
It is.
No, it isn't.
Okay. But anyway, so
It
what
might
have
have
you
been.
been
I don't
doing?
care.
You been doing anything fun lately up there? I mean, you guys.
It got very, very cold and it snowed, and I've got icicles hanging off of my vehicle. So I've not been doing anything except staying in the house and walking the dog every once in a while.
Well, I've been doing what I do, which is not the smartest
Masturbating
thing, but I
to
always do it.
homosexual porno.
Huh?
What you normally do? Playing with yourself and watching two guys make love?
No. I've had this Steam game that the people have been working on for like the last bunch of years that they finally, you know, started selling it. So of course,
But you need a new computer.
no, this Steam game is really like easy on the requirements.
What's the name of the game?
Manor Lord. It's basically it's kind of almost like Age of Empires.
Oh, is that the
2.
one you're talking about where you got to take care of peasants and stuff?
No, in Manor Lord, it's a lot more like top down. So you're like the lord of the manor, and you assign peasants to do jobs around the town. You know, like whatever jobs you want them to do. So if you got a bunch of peasants, you might say, you assholes go cut some trees, and you guys, you're going to be farmers, you know, whatever. And then you know, you just build your town and build your castle and fight the bandits and whatever.
Yeah. What kind of games do you like the most?
I am a builder guy.
Builder.
He's a Minecrafter.
Minecrafter.
I started playing Minecraft when it was in beta. It was free.
Wow.
I'll be back.
Yep. The first time I downloaded Minecraft, it was free to download. It was still owned by Mojang.
Big Vic
And there was only like 3 monsters in the game. There was creepers, spiders, and zombies and skeletons, but that was it. And there was only one kind of rock, and there was only like 2 kinds of trees. So, you know, unfortunately, they at some point, hey, what's up, Vic? They migrated my account to the Microsoft bullshit. And it's like, I don't know.
Yep.
I was playing Minecraft the other day. Sometimes I convince my wife to play Minecraft with me because I got my own server. And that's pretty fun because we run around together and, you know, kill monsters and mine diamonds and, you know.
Have you ever thought about designing cutouts?
Designing what?
Cutouts?
No.
Cutouts?
No.
No. Oh, well.
Speaking of things, have you talked to your wife about coming to Dave Con yet there, buddy?
I have not, actually. But to be fair, she's been very busy. And I've been like, hey, you know what it is. Mining diamonds, mining diamonds, mining diamonds, mining diamonds. Hey, you know what it is. Now, I was just complaining about one of my nephews, and I'm supposedly his favorite uncle, being a full-blown Trump derangement idiot.
Oh, Jesus criminy.
And post about how everyone in the South is stupid, even though he lives in Detroit. It's like, yeah, you're not allowed to talk shit about anybody if you live in Detroit.
And he was born in Florida, so he has.
And he's born in Florida. He is a Southerner.
He's not only a Southerner, he's like the Australian Southerner.
Yeah, he's a Florida man.
Oh, Vic posted something. Cutouts.
I see that.
Cool.
Those.
Hugar. Let's see. Cutouts.
Cutouts, yes.
Nice.
Yeah. And they are printable.
Oh
and they
yeah,
have-
yeah. I seen these. Yeah, I was telling you that I wouldn't deal with it just because I have STLs to 3D print like anything I want for Battletech.
Yeah. So, well, if you only
Like I
have a
3D
printer,
printed this
wow.
like beat up cross. You can see where it stuck artillery shots, and you can see the rusty rebar. And yep, I 3D printed it and painted it up. Put some, you know. So this could be a pretty good firing position for somebody, maybe. You know.
That's where you hang the orcs from. Hey, there's
Well,
the
speaking
ugliest
of
orc
hanging
fight there
things
ever
from
was.
things,
Hungar.
I haven't painted this yet, but there's a position.
There you go.
And you can see from that T thing, there's like 3 skeletons strapped to it by barbed wire.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. This one, which I built, and I need to paint the rusty parts, and I just built it today. There's like a skeleton tied to the middle post. There's a skeleton tied to it with barbed wire.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty
Gruesome.
pretty gruesome.
Bubba.
Bubba Sparks. No, that's the other Bubba.
Beelzebubba. He used to be Tom Bombadurp.
I know. I like that name better.
Yeah, Tom
Bombadurp.
Bombadurp was awesome.
That's just like. But another thing I did with the skeletons, Hungar, is you remember how I had those Renault FTs that I was saying I wanted to use as like
Yeah.
destroyed tanks, right? Well, I put skeletons like leaned up on it or hanging out of it.
Nice. Spernick.
Kind of want to SL and OD green. Nothing wrong with that.
Man.
Because the actual fact of the matter is that the thing that people think is a house's colors, most of the time that's their dress uniform.
Yeah. What's your favorite house in Battletech, Jose?
I would say Canopus because they have a great healthcare and that allows to do some cool stuff. When I played that in MechWarrior Destiny, that allowed to bring somebody who could not see to see basically, and it was
Plus, they
very
got cat
cool.
girls. Don't lie.
Yeah, he did it for the cat girls.
But anyway, Bubba, like my Free World League guys, the purple is the dress uniform. You can literally paint them however you want, you know?
Yeah, but why would you paint anything any color besides red and black?
Well, okay, that's, I think, Hanson's Rough Riders or whoever it is that's fighting for Kurita.
Yeah.
And they have their own weird reason why they paint. So, but you know, a lot of Kurita mechs are painted gray.
Yeah,
like Ghost Gray.
Ghost Legion.
Right. So there's no rule. It's like people who play Davian and they always want to paint the Davian guys yellow or whatever.
They need
It's like,
if they're
yeah, that
playing
was in
Davian,
a
they need
video game.
oh,
but
Ghost Spare.
This
Ghost
is my
Spare.
my favorite clan because it has some like it likes the family.
I like the intro to that where the one dude's like patrolling in a Vulture.
Kodiak, base Kodiak.
Kodiak. Yeah, that freaking assault mech comes up out of the ice and just
If
wrecks
they're
him.
playing Davian, shouldn't their cape be like rainbow flag?
Yeah, just paint your mechs like, you know, rainbow. But you just want your mechs differentiated very clearly. I mean, paint them whatever way you like to paint them, and then make sure you put like a logo on some surface for Davian.
My
know?
main mech is painted Confederate gray with a little Confederate flag on its shoulder.
It is.
My Jenner, my main mech, yeah, it is. It has been for 30 years.
Yeah. And I have a Griffin that's painted high gloss orange with a Confederate flag and a 01 on the shoulder because it's the General Lee.
And mine's the Johnny Reb.
Yeah. Because, you know, Dukes of Hazzard kicks ass.
And my pilot is a Kurita mech, and my pilot is a Japanese guy that's dressed up like a Confederate cavalry soldier.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
they
wondering
do that
when they're going to
crazy.
bring the Dukes of Hazzard back on TV. So it's a guy.
Kodiak.
Kodiak.
What I loved about the Mech Warrior game was when they said Summoner, it was always Summoner.
Oh, yeah, the AI.
Yeah.
When you're playing clans like Thumbener. It's like, does my computer got a lisp? What is going on here? That's a little weird, but okay. All right.
I'm playing
Okay,
with
my
Summoner.
question- I got a question for Hungar, James. When do you think they're going to bring back Dukes of Hazzard on TV?
I thought it was on there for a while.
Oh, they
What
canceled.
they're doing though is they're using CGI to get rid of the flag on top of the General Lee.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. That's what made
Yeah.
the car.
Praise his name. Yeah.
Well, you know, like one of the first things Pete Hesse did is he renamed Fort Bragg back to Fort Bragg. And he's renaming Benning back to Benning. So any of these people that got like issues with, you know, because, and I agree with him, that's military tradition. You know what I mean? That's been the name of, I mean, that's the home of the airborne and the infantry.
Yeah, you don't
And
mess
the
with
name of those bases have been that for, you know,
Ain't me doing it. Must be Jose typing away hard.
yeah.
Sorry.
It's kind of like how they changed the name of Mount McKinley to Mount Denali. And one of the first things Trump did when he got in office would be like, no, it's Mount McKinley. I'm sorry.
It's not like McKinley did anything except die really early in his presidential term.
Yeah, but I guess Denali is what the Inuit people of that region used to call the mountain.
Well, it's not their place anymore.
So they wanted it to be called that
If they
again.
want to change the name, they can reconquer it.
Oh, God. You know, it's sort of like the Gulf of Mexico turning into the Gulf of America. It was a political move, and it was a funny political move.
So
I heard
I'm working on my book, Hungar and the Search for the Cheeseburger of Density. I've got 143 pages done so far.
I heard a meme here that says that Trump is going to rename the asteroid as the asteroid of America.
Nice.
Yeah, we sometimes we refer to Mexico as like America's pants, and Canada is America's hat.
Yeah, Canada has the best wall for protection ever. It's called America.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, there is a politician who basically wanted United States to be called Mexican America.
No.
Well, I know the president was talking mad shit because she is not happy that the cartels got put on the terrorist watch list. And it's like, well, you know,
Yeah, well,
these things happen. These things happen.
and I have more details about why those congressmen from Costa Rica were added to the no visa to USA list. It
Oh,
looks
yeah?
like they are in the side of Huawei or something like that. So basically, I don't know. So it looks like the thing with Huawei is a big one.
Yeah, a lot of people are talking this and that, but I'll tell you what, it is kind of fun having like an incredibly vindictive president that is willing to just F with people. I mean, for me, it's just fun because, I mean, game recognized game. And I used to be one of the biggest trolls on Twitter. So when I see Trump, I'm like, yeah, I totally, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? This guy's going to say some crazy ass shit, and the whole world's going to explode. And I'll tell you what, though.
And he loves the attention. Yes.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's like they fall into the trap. Like when Trump said that if they get the couple $1 trillion back, they might give every tax-paying American like $5,000 check, like a refund for all the wasted money or whatever. Whether they do it or not, the thing that the Democrats are too stupid to understand is now you have Democratic candidates on television in front of working class people trying to make an argument as to why they should not get $5,000.
I have an argument about why people should have the $5,000. Okay, look at this. When you are cutting government spending, basically it drives prices down.
Right.
But if it goes too far, you will have a recession, basically. Okay?
Right.
So what do you do instead to compensate the lack of liquidity that is caused by the lack of government spending? You give money to the people so they spend and compensate, and there is no like a strong fluctuation or strong variation in the prices. So basically that is it has its logic. Macroeconomically, it is logical.
Right. But here's the thing. Everybody thinks a recession is bad. Why is a recession bad? If prices are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, why is that bad?
Because it is funded with unemployment. That is the problem. So basically, unemployment is what people get in exchange for lower prices is unemployment. So basically, and unemployment is not a very good thing.
Yeah, but I'm still not happy about paying $7.93 for a dozen eggs.
Yeah, but Anyway, I'm not even talking about that though. I'm talking about the fact that Trump yet again is playing like four-dimensional chess with these guys, because now because they have to argue against anything Trump does. They're literally on TV telling their own constituents that they don't think they should get money.
Yeah.
From the Doge account.
Yeah, Doge
It's like the ultimate freaking troll, because then it's like, all right, next election's coming up, and all of you guys are on the record complaining
that your
about
guys
cutting taxes and shit.
Yeah, Doge is talking about saying that with their cuts that they've done so far, they can give every American $5,000.
Yeah, that's
and the people are like, and the people on the opposite side are like, no, that's bad. And everybody else, all the normal people who don't have $50 million in their account from a $200,000 a year salary, are like, no, it's not bad. I can use $5,000.
Well, the guy who come up with the deal, because it wasn't Trump, even though the guy who invented it said Trump can claim it, he's cool with that. He said basically what Jose said, that giving every American $5,000 of a tax rebate would actually help with the debt, because it would fire up the economy. You'd have a lot of people
It's like the Dave Chappelle sketch where they give reparations.
Yeah.
It's like these people just can't wait to give away this money.
Yeah, the consumption is going to reignite the economy, basically. Basically, it is like an incentive for the economy. So basically, it is going to produce more revenue, more taxes, because there is going to be some taxes there. And so in the end, a portion of that money is going back to the government, and the economy is going to not have a recession,
Right. That's the thought.
So it's logic from a macroeconomical point of view. The problem of ideology is that those who, for example, the left and the right, they are based on ideology from principles that were dictated before macroeconomics was a thing. So macroeconomics is basically the rule of the system. It is how the system works, no matter if it is right or left. This is the machinery that works and is in place. So in this case, it makes sense.
Bear is in the green room.
Okay. Thank you for having a look for that. I was over here.
Yeah, I'm going to go get my food.
Go get
I
your
was
food.
working this weekend.
Okay. Let me see. There he is.
There.
And that's how that works. I show up on Hunger Leagues.
Well, he just said he's getting food.
I know what it said, but it's more fun if I make him sound like a little bitch.
He might come back. You never know.
What's up, Vic? How you doing, man?
He's your typical Kentucky housewife.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, what you should tell to people with CEOs is that Trump wants their attention. So the more they are triggered, the more they are doing what he wants.
Well, what's crazy to me, I mean, since we're talking basically current affairs, is everybody was like, well, certain people were hating on the JD Vance speech. And now, like, tons of people all over Europe are coming out, like European leaders being like, no, he's right. And it's like, okay.
What did he say? What did JD Vance say?
He said Europe needed to start paying their own way. And also, since we won the Cold War, I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, throwing people in jail for memes and stuff is bad.
Yes.
And it made like the Swedish or German guy that was disagreeing with him after he left cry on stage. and he is talking about maybe America and Europe do not share the same values. And of course, we're like, no, we don't. Because if you think locking old ladies up for spicy memes, or locking some chick up because she was praying silently, no, we don't agree. But apparently the cops that did that to that woman did get disciplined. So, and like there's some multi-rich British guy that's a lord of something. He's been running his mouth about Keir Starmer too, talking about what a douchebag he is, basically. And talking about how, England used to be, we had freedom of this and freedom of that, and we were this and we were that. And he's like, look at us now, like 8 and 12 people that live in London are illegals. He's like, and he said, and when I talked to Parliament, they said we'd have to have an airplane leaving out of here every hour. And the guy's response said, according to him, he's like, well, that sounds like a great start. Let's get this done.
What's driving me nuts right now is my American friends who only consume legacy media, and as a result, they don't understand that they're being told that everything Trump and Elon Musk and Doge are doing is bad and it's illegal and it's this and it's a constitutional crisis and all this stuff. It's like, no, he's fine. Dude, are you comfortable with the fact that they gave 1.5 million to a transgender opera? Like, is that in another country? Is that a good idea in your books of how to spend American money when your bridges are falling apart, your roads are falling apart, your dams are?
Our infrastructure does suck. Vic can probably attest to that since he spends time on it.
I just went through Indiana the other day. Oh my God! No thanks.
Yeah,
I know Orlando's been under construction as long as I've been alive.
Iowa's really, really bad too. Iowa's roads are just shit.
Yeah, so
I believe politicians should play SimCity. SimCity. It is a building game.
Yeah.
That's it.
SimCity.
Well, that's what what we're talking about. A lot of people. I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of FDR by no means, but one thing he was right about is hiring a shit ton of Americans to build roads and monuments and shit is not a bad idea. You know what I mean? Putting aside government funds to build infrastructure or the Hoover Dam, Mount Rushmore, whatever you're doing, it's not a bad idea because those workers make money, they spend money,
I'm having my favorite meal,
get greased and everything's awesome.
I'm having my favorite meal.
So let them play SimCity.
Steak and chicken.
I like them based on their score in SimCity.
Right. Their score is probably not going to be very good in SimCity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so what's your favorite meal you're having, Hungar?
Steak and chicken. It's called Turf and Turf.
James, have you played SimCity?
Of course. I played SimCity when it was on the NES, and you couldn't even mark out like whatever. It was just like RI and whatever the blue one was, and they were just blocks, and you just put the block down, and then if you had enough things, then stuff happened,
Residential, industrial, and industrial, and
play SimCity for Rush Hour. It is good, very good.
The last SimCity I played, I think, was 4.
4. Yeah, that's the one.
I remember SimCity when it was just a PC one. It was just, oh, hey, you got SimCity, and that was it. It was.
Whenever I get in my buddy's Tesla and he punches in the address where we're going and it starts searching for the address, one of us will always go reticulating splines.
Yep.
Yeah, adding water to trees and all that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sid Meier's was a genius back in the 80s, man. It was like that guy was killing it.
I love pirates.
I still play it.
Pirates, but everything I know about the Caribbean, I learned from playing Pirates.
Civilization, played that a bunch of times.
Dude, Civilization is still the game that I will play to this day. Civ 5, I played it, or Civ 6 actually. I played the shit out of it. I can't. I have to stop myself now because I'll start playing and then it's 5 in the morning. I'm like,
Right.
I still play Pirates. When I feel like playing a video game, I'm not sure what I want to play. I just load up Pirates.
Yeah. I mean, because that game is kind of, relaxing too. I mean, you kind of
Ogre's
you're
walking in.
just cruising around, doing shit. Oh, is he in? I told him he could join, but then he never did. So
apparently he's there just and chomping at the bit to talk to us about Palladium or something.
Well, hey, it's role playing related, so I think you'd be happy because Jose's already tried to take this to the BattleTech place.
Yeah.
You know what, Jose? Hold that thought.
Hold that thought.
So first, we'll show this one.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
the box
Still
set.
in the
And
plastic.
second, we'll show you this one.
And that one's in the plastic.
That's
Oh,
a
no,
good
no,
one,
there,
too.
there.
Oh, you actually opened that one.
But no one wants to teach me how to play the new version. Everybody wants to tell me how great it is, but I
What,
literally did
Alpha
a stream
Strike?
where I said, "Teach me how to play the BattleTech today with this modern stuff," and nobody just want to
Alpha Strike?
talk shit.
Or is that Alpha Strike you got?
No, it's BattleTech, the game of armored combat.
Dude,
Yeah,
rules haven't
okay.
changed in 40 years, so I don't
Yeah,
know
well,
what.
I haven't played since like fucking high school.
Well,
Okay, don't worry. I think that
remember
I have.
anything about it, you're good.
I haven't played in like 37 years.
I think they literally changed one thing having to do with the way cover works,
Nerdy Ogre's here. Let him
Being
in.
able to
Jesus, he's gonna
manipulate.
start crying.
elevation. I got to change the way the thing is. Whenever you get 6 or more, the computer's like, nope.
What are
He's
you
here,
doing,
but
you
we're not
nerdy
showing
goblin?
How you doing, Nerdy Ogre?
He's not nerdy ogre. He's nerdy goblin.
The
So,
dirty,
ogres are
filthy
goblins, right?
goblin.
I thought ogres were goblins in Goblin Slayer.
Nope.
Nerdy Ogre says everyone froze.
Well, that sounds that not on my end, so that seems like that's your problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
don't
didn't-
want to read shit, Jose. Listen, fuck people, get this through your fucking heads. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I research the fuck out of everything.
Uh-huh.
Anything I get interested in, I read everything I can. I watch every YouTube video I can. I digest it into my system.
Mhm.
What I am saying is, all these assholes told me that hey, you gotta play BattleTech, you should play, you haven't played in 40 years, you might like it, it's fun. I said, great, let's play. Show me how. And fucking crickets.
Oh,
Well, if I
okay.
lived in Canada, I'd show you how.
Okay.
You wouldn't like it,
Understand.
though.
It looks
Why
like I will have.
Because I'm an asshole when I play BattleTech.
He
And
is. But don't.
And I
say
don't mean
yourself-
like I'd be mean to you or anything. It's just I've played that game for so long. I understand all of the really, really deep interest, like mathematical equations of it.
Yeah.
So I will do shit that will make me basically unbeatable.
brother. Don't sell yourself short. You're an asshole even when you're not playing BattleTech.
That's true too. That's true too.
Bear. The video that I passed you is a visual guide that a parent can use with a kid while having the manual of the.
yeah, awesome. I don't need the retard's guide to BattleTech. I'm okay.
Okay. Okay.
I can figure it out.
Yeah.
I should make.
I like that though.
book.
Here's the child's guide to BattleTech, Bear.
That's-
I should make
That's what
that
your
book.
speed.
No, it's very graphic.
Right, the BattleTech.
It's very graphical. Yeah.
I don't want to fucking play anymore. You guys annoy me. Every time you guys start talking about Battletech, you get all into this
Okay.
fucking level and you
Yeah.
annoy the fuck out of me.
I need to work on the Idiot's Guide to BattleTech.
Yeah.
What you need to work on, no. What you need to work on is the how to be an ambassador for BattleTech guide for people who play BattleTech. So that way it's like, hey, frothing about your favorite fucking coalition or clan or house or whatever, not a good idea to get someone excited about the game. Telling people that their choices are shit and that they're idiots, not the way to get them to excited about the game. Like, there's all these things you can do that just, fucking BattleTech.
That's what turned me off to Magic the Gathering. This guy was telling me about it, and it's like, well, I've never played. I don't really play the trading card game thing. Oh, here, let me show you. Okay. So he gets out this deck. He's like, here, you can play with these. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to play with this deck. You know, this. Oh, I'm not going to play with this deck because this deck is like $400 and blah, blah, blah. And started bragging about how much. And I was new to the hobby in general. I didn't see the red flags right there. So,
What, that
and so
Magic
he's
is-
like, okay, here's what you do. You do this. Okay, and I followed. Okay, and then here's what I'm going to do. Pop, pop, and he just throws down his cards. And see there, I won. No, I don't see there. No. And that right there just turned me off to Magic because
The biggest impediment to Magic the Gathering is the price. It is. I mean, look at how much money you're pouring into it. They probably got more money in Magic stuff than I do of all of my D&D stuff. You know what
You
I'm
don't
saying?
pay 40K, do you?
Nope.
40K don't even come close to Magic. Not that I like disagreeing with you, my brother, but yeah, I've got multiple 40K armies. That elf deck I traded off is worth about 3 of those 40K armies.
Oh, yeah. I know.
I agree with the old saying, there's no such thing as a cheap hobby.
There can be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Frostgrave, you've probably already got enough miniatures to play it. It's miniatures agnostic, and you only need 10. So find a friend, get your wife interested, buy the rule book, gather up your D&D miniatures, because the only thing that matters in Frostgrave is what weapon the miniature is holding. That's it. So if you want to have a thug in your party, it's just got to be a guy in light armor with a single one-handed weapon and no shield. If you want to play a thief, it's just got to be some dude with a knife. But it doesn't got to be a human dude. It could be a goblin dude or an orc dude or any kind of dude, just as long as the weapon he's carrying is the correct weapon.
Frostgrave is great.
Yeah.
Fuck is Frostgrave.
And the other thing about Frostgrave that's awesome is you can play it multiplayer. Like we were playing Frostgrave once a week there for a while with like 4 people on a 4x4 foot table. Like one game, because we're playing a campaign game, we actually had to ally with each other so that we didn't all get wiped out by the NPC monsters in the game. Because there was a crypt in the center of the table and it kept spawning skeletons. And every time a skeleton would spawn, you look to see, with NPCs, you just look to see what it can see. And whatever it can see that's closest, it charges. And then you can roll the attack die or have one of the air guys do it. So this crypt was just cranking out, 3 or 4 skeletons a turn. And we're all like, holy shit. And we're fighting each other. But then the next thing you know, there's like an army of the undead running around. And also it would make a great role-playing game like D&D. Because the whole idea of Frostgrave is it was a city where there was a mage college. And, of course, the mages did something stupid. And it caused the whole city to get frozen.
You see that for mages being really intelligent, they do some dumb shit.
Yep. And so it's kind of like the fantasy version of Stalker. You play a band of guys that are just going into this frozen monster infested city.
Sounds
looking
like
for loot.
sounds like Mordheim from Wish.com.
It's Mordheim except better.
Better than Mordheim. And I loved Mordheim.
Wish more time.
I played a lot of Mordheim. It's just better than Mordheim. The main
We played
reason
so
it's
much
better than
Mordheim.
Mordheim is the two basic units of the game, the Thief and the Thug, cost 0 monies to add to your warband. So no matter how bad you get your ass whipped and how many guys in your warband die, as long as your leader lives, you can come back. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you can show up with like your leader and 9 thieves and be like, all right, we're doing this, you know. But whereas in Mordheim, you can get yourself into a place
Where
you're done, you know, like you're playing the human warband from Nordheim and you fight the demonic cult, and the demon spawn basically kills all of your people, and you've got no money left, so you can't hire anyone, and you're just done. That's just the end of that. Not super fun. And then, of course, they've got Stargrave, which is just Frostgrave, but sci-fi. For people who like sci-fi games.
I like tacos.
You like what? Tacos?
Yeah.
Well, I think we had a card game that was about tacos. Like making tacos.
And if not, why not?
If not, why not? Yeah, it was a card game. Kind of like Exploding Kittens, but making tacos. Man. But so yeah, get this. Like once I get all the foam on, I'll make a big old, I'll go find a rock and I'll roll the rock around the foam a lot until the foam's all like really dented in and jacked up. And then, like I said, this is just some of the scatter terrain I've got, you know, like tank traps and barbed wire with like bodies like strung up in the barbed wire. Because I mean, you know, nothing about this game is supposed to be cool. Necrotic Flesh, I was looking for that. This guy right here, I could add him. This is my Anchorite. It's a big diesel powered thing with a monk on the inside driving it, or none, with a Catherine wheel, a big ass mace. Just roll up on somebody and my tutorial will be very visual, something a learner can play on his table. See Jose's doing his thing.
Yeah, taking the idea of bear, but it will not be the first priority. First priority is inking first.
Well, your first priority needs to be art, right?
Yep, art.
Getting some damn art done.
Yep.
Yep.
See, I could never do that because one of the worst experiences in my life is a buddy of mine paid me to paint his Crane Army for L5R, you know, back when the L5R box set, you know, and you got all and while I love painting, having to paint for someone else just pissed me off. You know what I mean? I mean, he gave me like $100, but still.
Hi, Janet.
Damn it, Janet.
Damn it, Janet. Yep. I had to copy you. I'm sorry.
Oh, Janet. Oh, Rocky.
Brad, Janet.
No, it was, oh, Janet, oh, Brad. And then all of a sudden it was
Brad,
like,
Janet, Rocky, Dr. Scott. Brad, Janet, Rocky, Dr. Scott.
yeah.
Every time they get to Rocky, the audience goes, ugh. Because of the look on his face.
Yeah,
Hey,
but the scene
hang on.
where
Brad, Dr. Scott, Janet.
They're in the
I can't
band.
remember the
and
sequence
she's
now.
like, oh, Brad. and then he like pulls his mask off, and it's Frankenfurter. Oh, I never would have. Oh, come on, you did it. You liked it, and all that shit is like.
Yes, yes, very good. Now you're comfortable.
Like I told you, there's still a place called Yabium or some shit like that in Orlando where they do that live at like midnight occasionally, and you can go down and like watch people. What they do is they have the movie on the screen and everything, but they have actors like on the stage in front of the screen. And then when you go to the show, you see people bringing in like loaves of bread and freaking all kinds of crazy shit, rice. Because during the wedding scene, everybody throws rice at the screen.
Yeah, you got to throw rice for a wedding.
So,
I like to go to the beach and throw laxatives. You ever see a seagull eat a bunch of laxatives and then fly over the beach?
remember in Fight Club when they climbed on top of the roof of that car salesman and they just put like a shit ton of bird food there?
Yeah.
And he comes in and the whole freaking every car on the lot's covered in bird shit. Oh, Ass Magenta. I dress up and go as Magenta. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of a Columbia guy. I like
Yeah.
Columbia way too much.
I like Columbia.
I don't know who Columbia is.
Columbia.
She's the one that's Eddie's ex. She's Eddie's ex.
Oh, with the hat, the top
Yeah,
hat.
the one that does the tap dancing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me, every man in this lifetime wants a woman who says their name the way she says Eddie every time she sees him.
Yeah,
Trust-
she really did like Eddie.
I would make a good Eddie.
No.
Well, you got to cook them right.
Good one, Bear. I like when Rocky, they look at her like, and Rocky just keeps on eating. Like, what?
I remember the callback on that was, "What's wrong, Columbia? You've eaten Eddie before." Yeah, but never with ketchup.
Boom. That show was just like, the guy who played the butler, I don't know, he must have just been tripping.
Yeah.
Because I think he's the one who wrote it.
Yes,
Or
Dan
directed.
O'Brien. Yeah. Yeah.
He
Not
just
Dan
must have
O'Brien.
been tripping.
Oh,
Like he woke up and said, I am going to make the weirdest shit. Like it's going to be a musical. and
Richard
it's gonna
O'Brien.
be the weirdest shit.
He's the in the first D&D movie. He's the king of the thieves.
Right. He's been in a lot of movies. Every now and then I catch him in it, and he's bald, and it's like riffraff.
It's riffraff, baby.
But yeah, I'd like to know what his creative process was for that
There's only
movie.
two really great musicals, in my opinion, and it's Rocky Horror Picture Show and The Book of Mormon.
I've never seen Book of Mormon.
That's hilarious.
Nah, the best musical of all time is Fiddler on the Roof.
If I were a rich man. Yeah, exactly.
All day long, I'd be a bit of bone.
And a lot of people want to be purists about Zero Mostel, but I'm a Topol kind of guy.
And you know what?
And Topol was in Flash Gordon
Jersey Boys was decent too.
as Dr. Zarkov.
But I'm going to bounce, guys.
Bounce away. Little
Peace, love,
butterfly.
chicken grease.
Hasta luego. See you later.
Hungar,
Go grind your axe, Hungar.
Look,
just flutter away, little butterfly. Just flutter away.
look for me streaming tomorrow, maybe.
Hey, if you were me, you'd be good looking.
If I was,
Oh.
if I was you, if you were me, you'd be running. No, if I was you, I'd be running. If you was me, you'd be good looking.
Yep. Six String Samurai.
Great film.
One of the most B-rated, maybe not even B.
Now it's like
What-
you can
What's
tell
the
they
character for a C in Cyrillic?
I don't know, but you can tell they spent like fives of dollars on that movie.
I mean, the whole soundtrack was done by the Red Elvises, which is like a group of Russian guys that tried to do like 50s Elvis type music.
Janet, you can go take a hike about that.
Have you watched Victor Victoria? No, I have no idea what that is.
Oh God. I've had so many relatives. You should watch that. No, sorry.
What is it?
It's a Julie Andrews movie.
Yeah.
Last night I watched Groundhog Day for about the millionth time in my life.
And I know she makes a noise like a chipmunk.
I watched Reacher on Amazon Prime. That's what I watched last night.
Reacher?
Reacher.
Oh, I never watched that show. I have no interest in that show. I have literally lost all interest in paramilitary shows.
Well,
Ever
the
since
movie
I've been hanging
was
out around
kinda
people,
cool, but
ever since I hang around the OSR mentality people, I've lost all interest in badass Americanism.
Yeah.
well, the movie
I'm going
was
back and I'm
about
watching the
being
old-
a badass American. The
Reacher's
movie was
American.
just some guy whipping some people's asses.
And he's
Like
American,
everyone was
and he's a
American.
badass.
I'm going back and I'm watching the old Incredible Hulk TV show.
Oh, the end when it's playing the sad piano music and he's thumbing
Don't
down
make
the
me
highway.
angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
That's basically Reacher. That's basically Reacher.
Yeah.
Does Reacher turn into a giant green rage monster?
No, he's always a rage.
Then I have no interest in watching Reacher, sir. No interest.
He got hit by gamma radiation and it gave him superpowers. Everyone else, if you get hit by gamma radiation, you just curl up and die as you bleed all of your fluids out of all of your orifices. Gamma's like the worst radiation. I mean, alpha's the worst, but it can be stopped by like denim. It doesn't have very much penetration, but gamma has a high degree of penetration and it'll just cook you. So, yeah.
There's a theory I read once about gamma radiation because it lasts forever. That's why cancer is caused in human beings. Is that you got hit by a gamma ray and something altered, and you get cancer from it. So
It's a neat theory, but I go with the photocopy theory.
There is a way in which DNA can be altered to cause mutations in a very cheap way, and it needs to be researched, but there is already the cheap way, which is called CRISPR, CRISPR, I think.
yeah, that's where you
CRISPR.
can edit genes. Yeah.
Yeah, editing genes in the whole body in a living organism. So it injects you something, and all the cells are
knock your
reprogrammed.
well, cheeky breaky. If donkey. Anyway, the thing is every cell in your body is constantly like dying and being renewed over time, right? So the older you get, you just become a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. So the more times you make a copy of something, the more times there's a chance something bad will happen.
Oh
You'll
yeah,
get it
It's
anomaly.
CRISPR.
like cloning. You can't. Every time you clone something, it
I remember that movie.
breaks the original.
Yeah, he cloned himself, and that was cool. But by the time he got to the 9th one, the guy was just like dumb. As
Duplicity.
CRISPR.
No, duplicity with
Yeah,
Michael Keaton.
duplicity. Yeah.
I believe there is a Star Trek The Next Generation episode called Up the Long Ladder, which refers to this, and it is called replicative fading.
Yep.
And actually, that came before Duplicity with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, but duplicity did it better.
I disagree completely because you are a poohead, sir.
But like somebody was saying the other night when we were BSing around for a while, compare the effect on civilization of Star Trek versus Star Wars, and it's not even close. It's like Star Wars made a lot of people soil their socks thinking about Princess Leia as a slave outfit wearing person. But Star Trek basically led to actual technological advances, you know? And I didn't believe it, but then I watched the William Shatner show where it was like how William Shatner changed the world or some shit.
Yeah, it's a good show, that one.
Hey, them Green Orion girls from those 1960s Star Trek were.
I'll tell you what, in Star Trek Continues, they go on with the Orions and they explain why the Orion women aren't allowed to do anything anymore. And it's because at one time they enslaved the men and they genetically engineered them all to be big and kind of dumb and shit. But then one of the men developed an immunity to their pheromones. And once that mutation spread to enough men, the men overthrew the women who had been keeping them as slaves. And then they wouldn't let the women like read or learn or basically do anything but dance seductively. And they sold their own women as slaves. And in Star Trek Continues, they had Lou Ferrigno playing the Orion, which was pretty cool, you know, since Lou Ferrigno back into green paint, maybe not as the Hulk, but still. Yeah, nobody needs all your freaking references.
I'm just saying, Green Orion in a slave Leia bikini.
Well, I mean, that would be too much.
I mean, you know, but
It's not like the Orion.
hang on. It gets better. Green Orion, slave Leia bikini, Deja Thoris style.
Deja Thoris. Yeah, no top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how you destroy a room full of nerds.
Yeah. And it was like, but yeah, that's why the Orion women were sold as slaves and shit. It was all like revenge for how they had treated the males when they had been in charge.
Yeah, that was Enterprise, I think, that did that, eh?
Star Trek Continues with.
Oh, Star Trek Continues did that? Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, Lou Ferrigno played the Orion male. That came to get, and he's sitting there talking to Captain Kirk, and it's Lou Ferrigno, so he's like all goofy sounding and shit, and green and jacked up still. They also had the guy who played Apollo in the original Star Trek reprise the role.
Yep.
And that was really good. As a matter of fact, Star Trek Continues was pretty awesome.
Yep.
Slave Leia was my 13-year-old crush. That was everybody's 13-year-old crush. And Jamie Lee Curtis, her sexiest was in True Lies.
Oh my fucking God.
When he's like sitting in the dark making her take her clothes off and dance and shit. Because
I read that movie with my mother. We're going to watch a movie. So Schwarzenegger, I like him. And yeah, I hear this movie's funny. Let's watch it. And we're watching it. And we're laughing. And we're having a great time. And that scene comes on. Suddenly, my mother and I are both like really quiet. Just like the conversation dried up.
And that is one of the best scenes of all time that Bill Paxton has ever been in that movie. He is such a scumbag.
I love Bill Paxton in that movie.
Yeah, he is so good in that movie.
No, my favorite scene in the movie is where they captured him and they shoot Arnold with the sodium pentothal, and she's like, "Hey, is it working?" She's like, "I don't know. Ask me a question that I would normally lie about. Are we gonna die?" Yup, it's working.
What's up, Double D? How you doing, man? I was talking about you the other day, and I sent some people to watch your video, and everyone I sent to watch it hated it.
Dude, I went to watch it, and I couldn't even find the part you were talking about. So I was just like, fuck it.
I was talking about when the guy had the list of sexual kinks that his wife and her friends.
Yeah, I couldn't find it easily, so I just gave up watching because
Oh
I was
my
like, God, I was like scanning, and I was like, fuck this.
I couldn't sleep that night. I made a video talking about how angry I was at that man. Because I'm just like, what's wrong with you? You freaking degenerate. I mean, that is a degen. Plus, like I kept saying in my video, if his wife is walking into the house with her little gaggle of friends and they hand him like a list of kinky shit they're into, and it's like yay long, and it's all crazy shit like, you know, the rusty trombone and the screaming dolphin and shit like this. Well, guess what? She's effing around on him for sure. There's no way that woman's faithful. They probably got some kids, and he takes care of the kids and shit. And she goes out on her girls' nights out and gets railed out by Chad and Tyrell. Probably both of them at the same time.
And sucks all the dicks.
Yeah, not just
probably
like
have
in the club.
that Team Phoenix as their idol, you know.
Fucking hate that woman.
Oh, who?
Sad
Team Phoenix.
Oh, that's like so like 2014.
Doesn't matter. I still can't stand her. I could not like her in 2025 too, sir.
I mean, it's like she was like the person who basically tricked a bunch of nerds into buying stupid merch. It's not like any of
Sounds
one
like
of
a stripper name to me.
Yeah, well, it was her porn name.
Yeah, it was there for a while.
Yeah, then she married that douchebag. I can't remember.
She
guy.
married a tattoo artist. Or no, the tattoo artist got mad because they didn't want to pay him. But she, I don't know, she was like big in D&D for about 15 minutes. And then Wizards of the Coast sent her packing. And I haven't heard from her since. But she's, you know.
Last I heard, somebody said she sold everything, divorced her husband, and now is traveling the world or something like that. And I saw that she was invited to some conventions, some D&D conventions. Last one I saw was up in Montana somewhere.
Yeah, she was made by Zach Sabbath. He basically made her. Because she was one of the players in his D&D with porn stars bullshit.
Yep.
Or I kill it with my axe. I think he had a couple of names for his different projects. And she was allowed in the game because at the time she was a stripper or something. I don't know.
Well, that marriage lasted a whole 2 years anyways. Or one to what the guy Stone guy or whatever it was her husband.
Well, here's the problem, and you know, not trying to be a jerk, but that chick is severely damaged and will never be capable of actually bonding with any man.
Oh, no, that's the problem. And this is something I've tried to explain to a couple of the women I know who are doing this type of stuff. And I'm like, you know, you realize you're destroying your ability to pair bond. So later, when you're all played out and it hangs a loose like sleeve of the wizard, you know, it's you're not going to be able to have a husband or a boyfriend that you're going to feel a connection to, and you're going to cheat on them, and you're going to destroy every relationship you're in because you're not being satisfied because you think this was a good fucking idea in your 20s. Stop listening to horrible people with bad ideas.
Right.
And you know what they tell me? You know what they all say? They all say the same thing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just from a different generation that was more uptight. I'm like, bitch, my generation invented VHS porn. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're the ones that were like 12 when Skinamax had the Red Shoe Diaries on and shit.
Oh yeah.
We made Ginger Lynn a household name, lady.
Yeah, anytime your wife is talking about that, I agree with you, not your echo. She's a digital nomad. Well, I mean, she kind of turned her back on Zach when Zach got accused by Mandy Morbid of being Zach.
And Mandy Morbid's accusations are Mandy Morbid. You know,
Exactly. Take that with like a gigantic chunk of Polish salt.
Yep.
Mandy Morbid, last time I heard, was Jose's got internet issues. Had become a nun.
No.
That is the last update I'd heard about Mandy Morbid. She was a nun.
All right, let's go. Let's look it up. Mandy Morbid.
You can look it up. I'm not looking it up.
Which, if true, I mean, I wish the best for her on it, you know? I mean,
Former Canadian adult film actress.
Montreal, too, by the way.
mhm.
Aren't we proud?
Oh, damn it.
Yep. And she had some kind of congenital illness that made it where her intestines would randomly not work. But yeah, she got mad and pulled the angry girlfriend thing and accused Zach of all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that guy's a weirdo. It was the middle of the stream. Yeah, it was the middle of the stream. That guy's just weird.
No.
I told my wife if she first off, all of her friends are respectable. Secondly, if she came in with a list of weird shit I'd never heard of and said run D&D, but make all this kind of shit happen in the game and be as explicit as possible, I think I'd divorce her. I'd be like, no. Like, because if you know 50 different sex acts I've never heard of, odds are you've done them. You know what I'm saying? So, no.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, okay. Not necessarily. Whatever. Like, what kind of woman hangs out with a gaggle of other women and just reads X-rated books all the time? That is a weird person.
I'm going to go with one of Hungar's ex-wives.
I will say no, because his one ex-wife is a juggalette, and his first ex-wife was
So hang on. So one of his wives can't read, the juggalette, so that's not going to be reading any erotic porn there. What was the other one?
She was a ballerina from the Czech Republic.
All I've got is hold me closer, tiny dancer.
She was tiny. She probably didn't weigh 100 pounds.
Which one lasted longer?
The juggalette. Because after the 2 years and she got her green card or whatever, they split up.
The check?
Yeah.
Check is in the mail.
Because apparently that's how that was. Even though she wanted to stay together after the fact, but he was like, nope, we had a deal.
Was she cute?
Yeah, she was. But Hungar is Hungar. He does Hungar shit. And there's really no excusing any of it, honestly. It's just a thing that happens. So.
Guys got to do what a guy's got to do.
Now that's a well.
I mean,
there we
you
go.
know, ballerina.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you, Professor, for your thesis
Ballerina,
statements.
so that
As a
automatically
Canadian doctor.
means cute and limber.
Hey, you know what their toes look like, son?
Oh God, yeah.
Kirk or Picard? It's going to be Kirk. Connery over Moore. Amber or Ginger.
Well,
It's Lynn. So I'm going to go Kirk, Connery, Ginger.
Picard, because I've met both of them. Connery.
You
And-
met Captain Picard and Captain Kirk? How did you do that?
Oh, I wonder.
How?
Nerd that I am.
No. You met
I met them.
Patrick Stewart and
Patrick
William
Stewart.
Shatner.
William Shatner.
We're not-
Yes.
We're not asking about actors. We're asking about the character, Kirk
Oh,
Picard.
I'll take Picard over Kirk.
Well, I think Picard might be the more realistic as far as distinguished captain, admiral, whatever. Kirk just had better writing for all of his shows,
Thank you.
even though they may have had horrible special effects. I mean, they just nail like a paper plate to somebody's head and call it an alien. But
And
I
I
mean,
got no idea.
the stories were
what
just
Wolverine
way
did
better,
there.
man. Next Gen can't even come close.
Well, I mean, you
And
know,
here's the thing: I like Riker more than I
it was
like
a
Picard.
television in this. It was a television show in the '60s. Yeah, the special effects are going to be cheesy. That's what I tell people. This is a science fiction show from the '60s. Of course, the special effects are going to be cheesy. Lighten up.
Oh,
But here's the deal: the writing was amazing.
But that's just me.
Some of the stories from classic Trek are still like they're ageless, basically. I mean, they'll never get old.
I will take.
You know.
I'll give you that. That's for sure. I'll give you that. The original series had way better plot than
I have,
most, if not all, of Next Gen.
I
like
have,
Gangster World.
I mean,
and
Next
Nazi
Gen did
World.
have its nuggets.
The only thing I remember about Next Generation is when Picard told Wesley to shut up.
Shut up, Wesley.
That's literally my only memory of Next Generation. Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
And that was such a thing that when that douchebag was still on Twitter, every time
Wesley-
he put something, 50 people would be like, shut up, Wesley. And apparently it drove him crazy. Because
He
now
got
he's on a bunch
real
of
fucking spare
SSRs
about
and-
it.
Yeah, he's being like.
okay,
treated for-
what is Diversity of Dragons saying here? D&D Double D saying Amber versus Ginger. What's
Amberlynn
Well, I mean,
versus
I kinda get
Gingerlynn.
it.
Jesus Christ, 80s porn, brother. We were talking about that 5 minutes ago.
that? Okay, well, guess what? Don't care.
Yeah, I didn't know who either of them were, so I feel like out of the loop. But
The amount of respect I never had for either of you, so I can't lose any right now. But
The idea of Wesley Crusher was a good one.
maybe the third season, but it doesn't
The
matter.
idea of Wesley Crusher was a good one. I think it was just poorly executed.
are you high?
Yeah, I'm just like, wait, what?
I think Wesley Crusher was a how do I want to say this? Overdoing it.
He tried to talk shit about William Shatner, and William Shatner smacked him down about it. But I mean, that's William Shatner. I mean, if you're going to go on Twitter and start talking shit about the Shat, you know what I mean? He's going to give it to you. Like every now and then, freaking George Takei says something stupid. William Shatner just cooks him. You know what I mean? Just freaking cooks him. Yeah, I that was an issue with me, not your Echo. It's like that was so overplayed back in the 80s, this whole child prodigy thing, and it's still overplayed. I kind of miss 40s and 50s movies like with Humphrey Bogart and shit, where like the male lead was like 40 years old and might have actually done something in his entire life. But then at some point in the 80s or 90s, the male lead of these movies that's supposed to be so knowledgeable about doing shit, it's like 19. And now that I'm an old man, I'm sitting here looking at the 19-year-old and thinking, kid, you don't know shit. Like, what are you even doing? You know? I mean, it's okay when it needs to be there. Like, I mean, you know, the Breakfast Club was awesome. But
Well,
I'm so sick and tired of how everything just and you know what? And if it's not for that, it's also like they'll do a re-release of a thing, but it'll be all kids. So it'll be like Scooby-Doo, and then Scooby-Doo when they're all like teenagers, and then Scooby-Doo when they're all like 10. You know, Robot Chicken even made fun of that shit. They talk about a fetus named Scooby-Doo. and like all the guys were just fetuses kind of floating around, you know, solving mysteries because it's so stupid, you know? It's like, yeah. But anyway.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
still-
it's like you got movies like Iron Eagle and was it Daryl?
well, at least you had Louis Gossett Jr. in that.
And
And,
Shawnee Smith.
Yeah,
there's-
I saw the
Yeah.
role that could have almost been Bear earlier today.
What's that, sir?
When the guy reaches through the bars to get
Yeah.
Rorschach and he grabs his hands.
That could have been mine, but I wasn't. I was in Montreal, not in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Oh well.
yeah. I'll tell you what, it sends a tingle down my spine every time I see him throw the big thing full of boiling grease on that dude's head. Because I can only imagine. Like, that dude's not going to live. I mean, 3rd-degree burns over all of your body. I mean, infection is going to kill you. You're done. I mean, you're cooked. That's it. But, I mean, he deserved it. He was trying to shank Rorschach, right? But the comedian's my favorite character from that series anyway. But, anyway, I totally derailed us from what we were talking about. But, yeah, I don't know. There's just something about Wesley Crusher that just pissed me off. It just made
Harry?
me angry. It's like every time he walked on the bridge, it was like the way he walked pissed me off. Because no human being walks like that. You know, with his arms straight at his side, not moving at all. And it's like, what's going on here? I mean, I know it's in the future and shit, but had humans changed that much?
How humans walk in the future, don't you?
I guess. You know, it's like, no. Meanwhile, in classic Trek, you had Bones hiding in a cave trying to help some chick give birth to a barbarian baby, and you know,
Only McCoy.
yeah, and freaking Spock and Kirk duking it out with these barbarians, and
I'm a doctor, not an escalator.
yeah, or you got freaking the Kangs and the Yangs or whatever, the Coms and the
Moms
Yangs.
and the Yangs, yeah.
I mean, it was just, there were so many good episodes. The one world where the humans that lived on that world were like super, super smart when it come to replicating things. And the last Federation ship to visit, the guy had accidentally left behind a book on like gangsters.
Piece of the action. The planet is shit. Iosha. Sigma Iosha, because they're the Ioshians.
Yep. And they completely extrapolated their entire society and all the
From a book
technology
called
involved
the Gangs of Chicago or something like that.
from a book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why in the end, Kirk was like, as quick as they learn, before you know it, they'll be coming to us wanting a piece of our action, you know, because something about them, they just like, if they had anything, they could figure it out, and then, you know.
And then they accidentally leave their communicator behind.
Exactly. And the communicator is like one of the most high-tech devices in the Federation.
There's a comic where they go where the Next Gen crew visits that planet, and there's now like a gangster federation set up on the planet. Can I help you?
You got your Panther.
There's something I can do for you. Yes, you're very cute, but what do you want?
Like a lady, she's not going to tell you.
E.
Yeah,
They're
but
boys.
cats are ladies, even if they
Yeah.
are boys.
You're a lady. Do you hear that? Start acting like one, yeah. Or
So it'll want something, but it expects you to guess.
oh, I know what it wants. It's just not getting what it wants because it's gonna eat what's in its fucking bowl.
It's like, hey, I couldn't help but notice there's no food in my bowl, and I'm worried that I could starve to death.
This is more like, I can't help but notice I'm not particular to the food you put in my bowl, therefore I would like you to change it immediately.
Change it immediately, or I shall be forced to stand and sing the songs of my people.
Yeah, except my answer is fuck you, eat what's in your bowl. You get hungry enough, you'll eat it.
That's true. That's what my mom used to say when I was a kid. And not about the cats, but about me and my brother and sister.
That's what I was told.
Like, oh, you don't like this? Well, when you get hungry enough, you'll eat it. Like, okay. And now to this day, one of my favorite things is soup beans and collard greens.
You don't understand, boy. This is going to be your next meal.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The whole deal where you wake up the next morning
You don't
and whatever
understand,
you
boy.
didn't
This is going to be
finish
your
the
next
day
meal.
before.
Whether it's going to supper, breakfast, lunch.
Yeah. They're like, you are going to eat this. You get to pick when, though.
My mother and I had a fantastic relationship on that one. She was like, if you don't like what I make, you can cook for yourself. To which I went, okay. And I went and got to cook. It was a very simple relationship. I just had to make sure everything was clean in the kitchen after I was done.
I just learned to eat and like whatever that was cooked. So, I mean, that's why I've ate groundhog and all kinds of stuff because, you know, I just got to where I was like, all right, whatever. It's food. I'll eat it. Just easier, you know? Just easier that way instead of fighting about it. Let's see. What are we doing here? Yeah, it's getting about that time, ain't it, guys? The wife should be off work soon. I'll go in there and aggravate her. She had to go to the store and pick up some meds for me.
Your happy pills?
No, unhappy pills.
Uh,
Metformin. I mean, my A1C is like 5.1, but that's, I mean, not the bitch. I love being an American, but it's like the first thing they always want to do is get you on some kind of subscription that you'll pay for till you drop dead. That's how everything is treated. So nothing is actually cured, because why figure out how to cure an issue when you can just make somebody pay $15 a month for the rest of their life? Conscious of the King was well written, yeah. There were so many of them that were just classic. Freaking, like the Apollo one was like sad and.
Who mourns for Adonis? Adonis, who mourns for Adonis?
Yeah.
There's some good season 3 episodes. People like to talk shit about season 3, but there's some good season 3 episodes.
There were some.
There's some true stinkers, like Spock's brain.
Yeah. And never forget, there was at least the one episode where you got to see Leonard Nimoy being a hippie and playing a weird harp-like instrument that looked like a freaking bicycle tire.
Yeah.
that was something.
I just watched season 2 of Strange New Worlds, and I have a real problem with that show in that there are some truly good Star Trek episodes in that show where they get Star Trek, they understand Star Trek, it's Star Trek. And then there's some really goofy shit they do on that show. And then there's all the absolute flagrant disregard for canon that they do on that show. But man, I can't hate it. Like, I hate Discovery. Discovery is one of the worst things I've ever seen. But I can't hate Strange New Worlds. It's like Voyager level. When it's
STD.
good. When it's bad, it's really bad. And when it's mediocre, it's barely watchable. You know what I mean? Fucking
Yeah. It's like Nothing called STD can ever be good.
Yeah, disco. That's why they call it disco. Because they figured out all the fans were calling it ST, or the enemies were calling it STD.
Yeah. Yeah, a long time ago on Twitter, I used to talk to one of the guys that was actually a writer for that. And
For which?
STD.
Really?
And he was like, and of course I was just tearing freaking Michael apart. And he was trying to explain it to me. And I finally just said, look, dude, I'm an old school Trekkie. You're never going to win me over. And he's like, cool. It's like, you do you, but Herbert.
Yeah. Herbert. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, Double D, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. But now I'm leaving because it is that time, guys. Yeah, we see your Star Trek stuff. I've got the Mongoose, or not Mongoose, the Modiphius Star Trek, the one that comes in the tricorder. The case, it looks like a tricorder. So it's all classic.
Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't fucking just go play with your BattleTech, little boy.
But mine has like all the character stats for Kirk and Spock and which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's time for me to go. I will chat with you later. And while we've been chatting, I managed to get some pink foam on my table. So that's good.
you need to straighten out your pictures on the wall there too.
I think the pictures are actually correct, except for St. Andrew down here. He's crooked.
Yeah, that's
Hey, Andrew, that's my namesake.
Is it? Damn. Oh, yeah, you too, Double D. Take care, man. Be safe up there. I know it's a little snowy up in that area. But I will catch you guys later and be well.
Later, Skater.
Live long and prosper.